Well, was he prime example of a Democrat, sociopathic, liar, hypocrite? I'm sure he expected me to mention the name Gavin Newsom, who fits that description perfectly. And, well, you'd be right. Gavin managed to say that he hates a lying politician and then proceeds to lie right afterwards. You can't make this up.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Did you legitimately believe that he was capable of serving as president until January of 2029?
Yeah, I think my focus was frankly situational. It was making sure Donald Trump didn't get back into office to experience everything that we're experiencing today. And there was no interaction I had that suggested otherwise.
What do you say to Americans who feel misled by you and other top Democrats
respect, he decided
about the mental acuity of President Biden, that they wish you'd sounded the alarm sooner to give way for
I never experienced
an open convention?
I'm not going to substitute myself for someone else or for popular opinion. I'm going to express my relationship to my truth with the former president of the United States, including at the end of his term, quite literally in December, which was a masterclass of foreign policy and domestic policy, which I will never forget as we walk through not just the election, but we were walking through the world we're living in. There was nothing to suggest what you just said or others have suggested in terms of my interaction. That's all I can be accountable for.
It's why we hate politicians. That's a masterclass in hypocrisy and lying right there, Gavin, hairboy Newsom. Remember, about a year ago, Barack Obama was lecturing black men in the most condescending way, telling them that they had to, had obligation to vote for Kamala Harris, maybe because she's black. Listen.
When you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like knows you.
Right. But now Barack thinks it's important to vote for the white liberal woman over the black woman running for governor of Virginia. Watch.
And Abigail doesn't just believe in working with everybody, she also believes, and this is really important, in listening to everybody, whether they voted for her or not. Because she knows that if we want to make progress on the things that we care about, we have to be able to disagree without calling each other nasty names or demonizing each other.
And then Abigail Spanberger, he's talking about Spanberger, who was asked whether or not she thought what Jay Jones, who's running for lieutenant governor in Virginia, who said he would kill his opponent and his opponent's family, she couldn't say no to it. She couldn't say that was a problem or there's anything wrong with it. She said something about it leaked. Are you kidding me? And Obama's backing that. Meanwhile, Obama was peddling the kind of BS and nonsense we have come to expect from the de facto leader of the Democrat Party, which he is. He basically calls out one of the biggest reasons why Americans decided overwhelmingly to go with the Republican Party, the left's obsession with DEI.
They never miss a chance to scapegoat minorities and blame DEI for every problem under the sun. You got a flat tire? Must be DEI. Your wife kicked you out? DEI. Who knew? But what they haven't done is help you.
America's born, grown, thrived on meritocracy, not DEI, or DEI, as Obama just said. MSNBC must remember an entirely different history than we do. Our version is called reality, whereas their version is entirely made up, created by propaganda and a healthy dose of Trump derangement syndrome. Here, MSNBC bowing down to their god, Barack Obama.
But I think what's most important is that when they see Barack Obama, people remember a time in America where there was unity. They remember a time when there was calm, when they saw that there was actual opportunity for their families. And the contrast between the hate that the Republicans on the MAGA side keep pushing and someone who is very calm and collected and saying, look, this is where we are in America, but we don't have to be. Remember when I was president?
Hate? Your side's the one who tries to assassinate and assassinates our side. I think there's more hate on your side, don't you think? We just call out liars and hypocritical politicians. But to make matters worse, other than his endorsement of a candidate who supports men violating women's safe spaces, Barack Obama was also coming out in support of this candidate here who called for a couple bullets to the head of his political opponent and his opponent's children.
Virginia, and I know it starts right here in Norfolk. So if you're ready to elect a governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, members of the House of Delegates, and Democrats up and down the ballot this year, you will make some noise because the world is watching. They want to see what we're going to do, and we're going to send a loud, resounding message that we don't take Donald Trump here in Virginia. We take it for us.
Well, that's obviously the guy. That's the other guy. Last year, after being involved in a fundraiser for Joe Biden, George Clooney finally had to admit that Joe was just too far gone. Remember he said that? Clearly it was so bad that even Clooney felt the need to write an op-ed calling for Joe to exit the race. And boy, Hunter Biden was less than pleased about old George Clooney.
Opinions, but him and everybody around him are not to be nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. George Clooney is not a actor. He is a I don't know what he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what? He supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como. And he's great friends with Barack Obama. You. What do you have to do with anything? Why do I have to listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the New York Times to me and James Carville, who hasn't run a race in 40 years.
And what the flip have you done, little mini Biden? Nothing. And how about you? You all made money. I mean, for God's sake, he walks into government 50 years ago and walks out a wealthy man from making 170 grand a year. BS. Stop it. They're all grifters, thieves, and liars. Clooney was asked about that clip right there, and the looks of it, he had to restrain himself a bit.
Did you see Hunter Biden's reaction?
Yeah, I saw it.
What did you make of it?
Well, I could spend a lot of time debunking many of the things he said, because many of the things he said were just outright lies. You know, Obama didn't put me up to it. It wasn't my fundraiser. It was my fundraiser. All the things. But the reality is, I don't think looking backwards like that is helpful to anyone, particularly to him. I don't think it's helpful for the Democratic Party. And so I'm just going to wish him well on his ongoing recovery, and I hope he does well, and just leave it at that. I have many personal opinions about it, but I don't find it to be helpful to have a public spat with him. So.
All right, kind of had enough of Clooney. Can we just jump down control room to Jasmine Crockett? Yeah, let's do that. Now, Democrats love to conveniently forget how damaging and crappy their own policies are. Here, our friend Jasmine Crockett trying her hardest to make any sense of why so many Americans are getting SNAP benefits, which isn't easy for one of the least qualified members of Congress.
I will agree that there are too many American people that are on SNAP benefits. But that means that you got to not look necessarily at SNAP. You got to look at the reasons that they're on SNAP. We know that over 1/4 of these people that are in receipt of SNAP benefits are actually the working poor in this country, right? We have not increased the minimum wage, and I don't know when, and the minimum wage still sits at $7 while everything else is going up, whether we're talking about the cost of food or whether we're talking about the cost of rent or whether we're talking about the cost to actually try to engage in home ownership, if we're talking about the interest rates. And we know that under the failed leadership of this administration, this country has seen a loss of 1 million jobs, and that's just in the first few months. He's not even had a full year.
I wish I had this. I'm going to bring it to you tomorrow. There's a chart that shows SNAP benefits over the years. During the 4 Biden years, most recent 4 Biden years as president, SNAP benefits almost doubled in 4 years. Almost doubled. One president. It's insane what they were giving away. All righty, folks, do me a favor. I would love you to when you go on YouTube, search at Eric Bolling The Edge, because this show is just crushing it. 45 days, look at that. 100 times faster in subscriptions than the average YouTube show. 55,000 views, 20 times more than the average new YouTube show. 1,120 watch hours, insane, 25 times more than it's popping on all cylinders. It's all about men, grit, perseverance, getting knocked down, getting back up. It's okay to be a dude. It's a bro show, a pro bro show. How's that? We love it. I love it. You guys have been amazing. Do me a favor, that QR code right there, you show a camera to that, a cell phone camera, hit the yellow line, you've subscribed. Appreciate that very, very much. I'm asking for your subscription. Helps me out, helps you out, never charged a penny for it. I promise you that. Just gets you to the top of the line when you go to YouTube. Just check out the show. I think you're going to like it. Hit me up on social media. Hit me up on the voicemail. We'll read some of your voicemails as well. Thank you for your support, for your viewership, and also for that subscription right there, youtube.com/@Eric Bolling, The Edge. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.